Push Partners. I am Sherilyn Payne. I'm here to help you create a life and a business that you're absolutely in love with. I am pushing you. Hi, COK. I'm pushing you to go out there and accomplish your dreams and your goals. I'm pushing you to let go of your self-defeating thoughts, and I'm pushing you to get outside of your self-imposed prison. Thank you for inviting followers. And then I'm also positioning you with the right strategies to go out there and really make sure that you achieve your goals. And so we all need someone to really help us. And guess what? We can never accomplish what we want to really get done without a strategy. We got to have a strategy, a plan in place. And then I'm also providing you with the right mindset, the strategies, as I said, the inspiration and the motivation you need to actually go out there and win, because that's what we do at Push Partners. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you for the heart love. Thank you for helping my teeth to be straight and white by giving me hearts. And so my dentist is absolutely in love with you guys. When I go and see him, he's so happy. And I tell him it's just because of this Push Partner community, because of my little warriors. Do me a favor. If you have not invited any followers, guess what we do in this community? We share, share, share. That's what we're all about. So I would encourage you to tap the screen and make sure that you're inviting people to this scope who could actually benefit from what we're actually sharing. So make sure you share with your community. Share, share, share. Share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share on Instagram. Share with people who could actually benefit from what we're actually doing here. And so we want to make sure that we actually I don't know what happened. We want to make sure that we are sharing with people who could really benefit from what we're doing. And so make sure that you are sharing, share, share, share. And so today I'm just kind of talking about just the thought, nothing in particular. I want to check and see, how did your day go? If you guys can let me know if you had a great day, if you had a productive day, give me a 1. If you did not, give me a 2. And let's talk about what we can do to make sure you have a great rest of the evening and you can finish the week off strong. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say regarding that. But then also yesterday I gave you a huge challenge. Oh, great, great, great. Good to hear that you had a great day. Yesterday I gave you guys a challenge, and I challenged you to declare victory over your life. I challenge you to declare that you are going to be victorious in the key areas in which you are really looking for some amazing things to happen, and to really start in the year off with really speaking positive. Absolutely great. I'm glad to see you did that. Speaking positively over your life and really using your words to elevate your situation. And so I asked you guys to say something positive over your life out loud at least 10 to 20 times a day, and just to see what would happen at the end of the year. So I'm curious to see if you did that. I got one person, COK, who said that she actually did that. And so again, we're looking for things to change. We want to be victorious. And so we've got to put in the work. We got to do some things differently. So it's good to see that you actually did that. I can't wait to hear the testimonies and the results of what will come after you consistently. And that's the thing. We've got to be consistent, be persistent out of you consistently speaking positive over your life 10 to 20 times a day from now until the rest of the year. Hopefully to kick in and be a habit, and we can do that no matter what we see, no matter how things look, no matter how we're feeling. If we can just speak positively over our life and our situation and declare victory in those key areas that we need to see some change, then I would love to see what would happen if we use our words as weapons of mass destruction to really destroy some things, and use our words to elevate our situation. And so I can't wait to see what comes out of that. I got some things that I'm really speaking positively about as well. Absolutely, we need to be consistent and persistent and consistent. And so we know that that's our key. Sometimes we give up because we are not persistent and we're not consistent. We may be persistent and do something often enough, but we're not consistent and do it as often as we should or when we should. So we've got to make sure that we stay faithful, be consistent, be dependent upon, know that you're going to show up and press. And so I really believe that there is a blessing in that if we were to do just that. So I just wanted to kind of talk to you guys about that and encourage you today to make sure that you keep doing that. Hi, Juanita Pray. Thank you for joining. Make sure that you keep on positively. Thank you for inviting followers. make sure that you keep on positively speaking over your life 10 to 20 times a day, those areas in which you want to see victory. And so again, 10 to 20 times a day, we are declaring war. We are declaring victory, and we're looking for some amazing, amazing things to happen when we're consistent and persistent in what we're believing for, what we want to have victory over, whether that's our finances, whether that's our mindset, whether that's us being able to speak more positively, having more of an impact, changing our families, generations, whatever it is that you're looking for victory in. Again, 10 to 20 times a day, you should be saying that. So that's every hour on the hour. At the very least, declare victory, declare war, speak positively, and look and see what happens. And so I'm believing with you that as you do that God will show up and totally change your situation. He will blow your mind because you're persistent and you are consistent in what you want. And so you just got to keep pressing and keep pushing through. And so I can't wait to see what happens as a result of that. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for the hearts. Again, I wish you could feel how much love I have for you guys. You really do my heart really warm. And you really do something to my heart whenever I see those heart loves, and whenever I see that you guys actually show up on a Thursday night. Other people are watching TV, doing some other things that are not adding any value to their life, but we're here being consistent and persistent, knowing that we're getting the information that's valuable information, and using that information to totally change our lives and the lives of other people in which we're connected to. So make sure you're sharing this scope. There are so many people who could actually benefit from this scope, and we got to make sure that we share that information. We want to be givers, and so we know that when we're giving, then guess what? We got to reap. So we're planting that seed and looking for that harvest. And so it's not always about planting money. It's not always about giving money, but you want to be a giver. So we're givers of information. We're givers of tools and strategies and resources that could really be life-changing for someone. And so I just kind of sat back today and was totally blown away with some of the testimonies and some of the just the praise reports I received from people who have actually applied the strategies that have been shared on this scope and seen their life change. And that's what I'm really believing God for, that we will be an instrument of life change, and we will be passionate about changing the lives of others and really changing our own lives and changing, our generations to come. So again, thank you guys for showing up, and thank you guys for actively participating and engaging in your own life and looking for some amazing, amazing, amazing things to actually happen. So I want to just kind of share with you a little bit today about what happened to me. Was having a conversation with the leader, and hi, Ghost Digger, thank you for joining. I was having a conversation with the leader, and it was really interesting just to kind of hear what that person said. And so, that person was really in a true position that could change many lives. Thousands, tens of thousands of people's lives were really impacted in so many different ways because of this particular leader. And so we sat down and we had a conversation, and the person was telling me about their vision and had no passion when we talked about their vision. And so I thought it was really interesting to hear a leader who's leading a large organization, and they have absolutely no passion about what they were talking about. And so I just began to think about, wow, look at all the people that they are influencing, and look at all the people who are impacted by this person who's in this role but has absolutely no passion about what they're talking about. And I really questioned if that person even believed what they were talking about. And so they were quick to tell me the strategy, and they could tell me and articulate in words, but they kept saying that it was not getting done. So what they wanted wasn't getting done. And I began to think about, so often we don't get done what we want to get done because we don't have passion behind it. Your passion and your purpose will drive you. And so if you don't have any passion and you don't have any purpose, it's kind of hard for people to kind of get behind you and run with your vision. You got to have people who really buy into what you say. They buy into your energy. And so if you don't have any energy, it's going to be really hard to motivate and move other people to come alongside you and really deliver whatever it is that you're trying to deliver and get done. And so I thought that was very interesting. But what I thought was even more fascinating, though, is that when the person mentioned one thing that I really believe that we all should do, and I don't think I've shared this with you guys before, but it's definitely worth sharing. The person said, you know what? A lot of great ideas actually come to me because I take time to think. And I am light years around some of my peers in other companies and industries, and even who I work with, because they don't take time to think. And so we're so busy running, and we're so busy doing things, and we're so busy accomplishing our goals, and we're so busy just getting things done and going along with the monotony of life that we really don't sit down to take time to think. And I think that, or I know that, one of the key reasons that you need to sit down and take time to think, one of the key benefits rather, is that you are imparted with information. You become more proactive and more strategic when you're really thinking about things instead of reactive. And you never ever want to be on the reactive stage. You always would rather, in any situation, be more proactive, go out there and get what you want, than you having to react and adapt to the circumstances that are thrown at you because you had no strategy and you had no plan. And so when he began to talk about the importance of just sitting down and thinking, I said, wow, that's really great. And it's something that I have not shared with the Push Partner community, but it's definitely something that I practice a lot. There are definitely times where people would get so upset with me because they'll call me and they say, I've been calling you for a couple of days and I haven't heard from you. And that's because sometimes I need to step away and just think. And the thing of it is it's not as simple as just thinking. Yes, you need to take time to think and really think about everything that you have going on and how you're going to get yourself out of a situation that you got yourself in. Because a lot of times, if we can think our way out, we can get out. But we're so busy having to react, to what is thrown our way, that we never take time to really think about a strategy that could be life-changing for us. And so I would encourage you to step away and just think. Some people like to think in the morning, and I'm not going to tell you any time is the best time to think, because I really believe you have to find your peak time. What time are you at your peak? What time are you at your optimal performance? What time do you know that this is the best time of day for you? And if you can really think at that time, I really believe if you implement this strategy on a regular basis, you'll see some amazing things happen. Now, this is the key. You got to understand that while you're thinking, ideas are not necessarily, you're not going to see a huge change overnight. It's a process that actually takes place over time. And so, you may not see any results for 3 months. You may not see any results for 6 months. But just know that if you keep on and you're consistent with it, you'll begin to get some really great ideas. And I know that some of the programs that I put into place, Think, Analyze, and Strategize, absolutely, that's good. I know some of the things that I put in place, some of the best ideas that I've had have come from me just sitting down to really think about a situation and think about what I want to do and think about how am I going to get myself out of this, and really kind of taking time to just sit back and really, really think and really understanding what time is my best time. I am not a night person. I'm not necessarily a morning person. I'm not even a middle of the day person, but I do know that I do better around the 9-10 o'clock time frame when I'm kind of up. I do know that I do better when I'm in the shower. I do know that I do better and I have more ideas are downloaded to me at those times, or even at nighttime. Maybe when I'm laying in the bed, I'm flooded with a lot of ideas, and I'll just begin to write, and I have more ideas that are downloaded into me than I can even get down. I can't even write them down as fast as they're coming to me. And I do know what's key is when I have gone back sometimes and looked at those ideas from years later, it may be the same thing that God is really imparting into me. And so I think if you take time to think, and if you can do it while you're praying and meditating and studying God's word, I think that you begin to ask him for some ideas and ask him for some strategies and ask him what is it that you should do, and ask him what does he want from you. He will begin to deposit that information into you. When the learner is ready, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so when you're really ready for it and you're true to what you're asking and seeking him for, I really believe he will give you those answers. He's not going to allow you to just ask him and he's not going to show show up and answer you at all ever. I don't believe he's that type of God. I don't necessarily believe that it's going to always be instant that you get your answer. But I do believe that if you're seeking him and you're going after him and you're asking him for ideas and strategies, and you're asking him to download into you what it is that he wants you to do, or how he wants you to say and operate. You say, oh, I don't know about that. Somebody says you're a born teacher. I don't know about that. I hope so, though. I pray so. I really believe that God will do just that he will give you what you're asking him for and what you're seeking after him for. But you need to ask him, God, what is the right time for me to pray? Some people say it's first thing in the morning. Well, of course he tells you to pray without ceasing. So ask him, what's your best time of day? Ask him, what time should you really be seeking him? Maybe it's the peak of the day. Maybe it's the 9 o'clock hour, the 12 o'clock hour, the 3 o'clock hour. I don't know what it is, but I do know that you should seek him early. I do know that you should meditate on his word. I do know you should ask him for a strategy. You should ask him for a vision. I do know that you should ask him to teach you how to think. And you should ask him for wisdom. And I believe that he will give that to you. And you can begin to see that not only when you ask him for those ideas and those strategies and what to do, and ask him how to do it, and to bring the right people in your way, and to give you godly connections, and to connect you these ideas that he's downloading inside of you, these thoughts and strategies. Ask him to connect you with the right people who will actually bring them to pass, who will help you to implement them. So not just to give you the idea, but really show you how to birth that thing out. And so again, we want to be more proactive than reactive, and really think about how you can get yourself out of some situations, or how you can have some great ideas. And sometimes they're just an idea, but you may need to flesh them out with somebody else. So again, when you're fleshing the ideas out, especially your God ideas, flesh them out with someone. And by flesh them out, I mean run them past somebody, talk about them with someone who you really admire, or somebody who's your target market, or somebody who may be able to impart some additional ideas into you. So be very careful about who you're sharing that information out with, especially if it's a business, because people will definitely kill your baby. And so you don't want anybody to do that. And so again, just begin to really think. Take time to think. If you can take an hour each day, no less than 3-4 hours a week. If you can take an hour each day and just really sit down and think, and just use that time to truly think and see what happens. Don't use it being on the phone. Don't use it being distracted. Find out a place that you can go and just really sit still and get quiet and listen and really think and take time to think. You have to train your mind to be settled, because our mind naturally wanders. And in the this day of social media or television, we have so many other distractions. You have the telephone, you have so many other things that are vying for your attention. And so we don't necessarily take time to sit down and think. People always say, oh my gosh, Sherilyn, you have really great ideas. You ask really great questions. You're very strategic. Well, it's because I take time to think. I'm not a person who's always on the telephone. I'm not a person who's always watching television. Sometimes I'm at my home. I may have the television on, but I'm not necessarily watching it. And then there are days that I can go without having the television on at all. And there are some times where I just kind of get quiet and really use that time to really think. And I have thousands and thousands of notes and notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of information that's being deposited and downloaded to me. And people will say, you're creative. And I don't necessarily think that it's because of me, but I really think it's because I take time to disconnect from the world from time to time. And it's hard because people have expectations of you. People will say, you never answer your phone. Well, I do, but that's the reason why, to have something different, you got to do something different. And so that may be the reason why you're in your situation, and the reason why I'm in my situation. And not saying I'm any better than you. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I do say that we do things differently. And I'm very focused on where I want to go and what it takes to actually get there. And I know that I can never have something different and be a blessing in the way that I desire to be a blessing if I'm going to go about business as usual and doing everything that everyone else does. You hear successful people say all the time that they don't really watch a lot of television. That's because they're thinking, they're engaging with other people, because when you're engaging with other people, they may say something that causes you to think. And so learn how to step away and really take time to, again, just really kind of write your ideas down. If you can get into the habit of when you're thinking and ideas are being deposited and downloaded into you, if you write them down, maybe carry you a notebook and just kind of write down what's coming to you. And you can take time, maybe once a month or once a week even, and go back and look at those ideas so you can see consistently what's being shown to you and what you should do with that information and when you should implement that information, because you never want to move outside of the timing of God, and you don't want to step out there and see that God is not with you. Sometimes he may show you some, there are a lot of people who say, you know what? As soon as God gives you an idea, you need to run off and do it right then. You got the idea, and I don't believe that, because I do believe that there could be a season of preparation and a season of maturation before you get to that destiny point. And so there are some things that you need to grow along the way. God showed Joseph some things when he was young that were not necessarily implemented until he was grown. And so the same thing with us, so where people say, you need to be very quick to make decisions, I don't necessarily agree with that philosophy. Some people will say, who are you? You don't know anything. But I do believe that if you're operating in the timing of God, and you're really doing things according to his will and what he desires of you, you need to seek him for everything, including his timing of when to step out, because you don't want to step out and find that God is not with you. And so ask him, when is the right time? Ask him, how will you know? Ask him to show you. Ask him to give you the faith and to open your eyes so that you can see and hear him, so that you can know when it is you're supposed to implement whatever it is that he's showing you. So again, I don't want to keep you guys any longer than we have to be. I hope that I share some valuable information with you. Just a thought though today, for you to kind of think about how you can do some things differently, starting with your thinking. So let's elevate our thinking, not only with how we speak and what we're saying, and remember we're declaring victory over our situation, but also let's take time to think about what we're thinking about. And so let's do that. Let's step away, take time to think about what we're thinking about, and take time to just think, period. And I also believe that if we think before we even do and say some things, maybe we'll get different results. We'll act better. Some of us won't even ruin some relationships because we never take time to think. We just do. We get into the habit of do. And so I think the world absolutely needs doers, but the world also needs thinkers. And so just a thought, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate the heart love. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully, prayerfully, I know that I'm adding value to your life, and I know that and hope that you guys see things the same way, that I'm actually showing up here, and I'm bringing some great things to your life. So I will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Thank you for the hearts. Talk to you later. Bye.